order has been so quick here coming out of OMG and GT. Has actually been the Jarvan locked in first. Let Me is going to respond, taking away that Aurelia from Go-Going. Go-Going going to pick up Rumble in response. Danger did get his Lee Sin, and Loveling locking away that Thresh for low. The ban's pretty standard, but Annie sticks out like a sore thumb. Sync Dream able to get around that map and stun up some targets with Annie, and his roaming style of support has been really, really strong.
Yeah, Sync Dream was the original support that was just sitting on level 2 for so long as Annie and trying to impact the map. You partner it with something aggressive like Tails Corki that he's just picked up, and it really does make for a potent lane. In the mid lane, Xiaohu actually electing into a blind LeBlanc pickup with Kassadin still available on the board. That is a very brave decision. Actually looks like that won't be the pick. Actually, Kassadin was banned away.
Yeah, Kassadin was banned, so it's not as on the board. It is on this board, but that's the ban list.
Yeah,
that board
certainly is. So it looks like Syndra maybe being the response, and a Kalista being picked up for Uzi. That would be interesting.
Yeah, hovering it at this stage. We haven't actually seen Uzi pick up this sort of new flavor of AD carry there in the bottom lane, but everyone else has, and he has to get up with the times, does old Uzi.
Certainly does. Has to show his dominance on that one, and it actually looks like Cool will take the reverse matchup from what we saw yesterday. It will be the Ahri played into the LeBlanc, and Uzi, he's just swapped over to the Vayne.
Yeah, more than happy to pick up a Vayne into Corki. A horrible matchup if you're going to go face-to-face, but you can imagine that some sort of lane swap situation could be coming through, and this is another point that we have to mention, is the fact that there's Thresh plus Jarvan plus Rumble. A terrifying combination of champions for zone control and locking down multiple targets, but it's going to be the Fiddlesticks here. And Sync Dream, he picks up, you know, the Annie. That seems a bit standard. Fiddlestick support, we haven't seen that for a very long time.
Yeah, and the reason we haven't seen it is because it's actually pretty bad coming through. The Fear makes you run away. It has got that slow. The Dark Wind just doesn't do as much damage as it used to as well, so it isn't really that great level 1 ability anymore. I'm more excited to look for this Thresh Ahri to team up. We talk about pick comps a lot. Wow, that's terrifying in the mid lane. Being able to get a hook into all of Ahri's upfront burst damage, if that charm lands, is just so potent, particularly around these little dragon areas. Throw an equalizer down, and it's very easy to hit those skill shots. So looking forward to seeing exactly what Cool and Low can pull off in this 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we'll see whether they get the roam on early on or whether they sort of hang out, wait, and whether there's going to be too much vision available for GT. But OMG, we know their style. They're going to be strangling GT out of their vision, and if they are anything like their performance in their second game yesterday, it's going to be OMG rotating around, taking turrets really quickly, using this early game pressure that they have with the likes of Jarvan and that Rumble to really smash these structures and just take a stranglehold on this game.
Yeah, I'm expecting a 4-1 split push. Uzi off doing his own thing, the rest of the members grouping up, trying to get objectives.
Yeah, we'll see whether they can do that as we get onto the Rift. And we're on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, with OMG taking on GT. It's game 1 with OMG on our blue side and Gamtee on our red. The first time that we've seen Fiddlesticks support in the LPL thus far. In fact, it's been the first time quite some time. We'll see whether Sync Dream can change your mind, Mr. Jake Spawn Tiberi, about his relevance in this current patch.
Certainly hope he can, because he does have the ability to go off in team fights especially. Has got the ability to get that nice big AoE ultimate across, and Danger needs to be a little bit careful.
You could say that he's in danger. Not onwards. Too easy. Going, hanging out in the jungle.
Still using the best Rumble skin in the game as well, by the way. Lots of people have converted over to the new Rumble skin, but Rumble in the jungle, oldie but a goodie Atlas coming out right here.
I would definitely say so. I do like him more when he's jungling, to be perfectly honest, if he's going to pick up that skin. But throwing out a line of pineapples, I don't think you can beat that, to be honest. Uzi happily down in this bottom side of the map. Looks like we're going to have OMG and GT meeting for standard lanes here. And Vayne into Corki, it's a matchup that we've spoken about quite often. But is it really in favor of Corki here? I mean, Vayne can tumble out of the way of that Phosphorus Bomb.
Yeah, it's very fire in the favor of Corki. Grabs the early Sheen and really trades extremely well. Uzi is good at, I guess, pressuring every CS and will need to be able to use those silver bolts to get the lane in his favor, but definitely is something that Corki does pretty well. And this is an interesting start here, actually prepping the blue and giving experience over to Tail. This is something we've seen fairly often with Lee Sin jungles because it allows Lee Sin to grab the damage passive, but also gives his bottom lane a huge advantage.
Yeah, and Tail already level 2, so taking all of that experience for himself. Sometimes you are going to donate that a little bit over to your support as well, but not this time. That being said, OMG zoning Tail away from the creep wave.
So they had a very specific strategy coming into this bottom lane. See if they can get it going even further. Good damage coming out of Tail with that Gatling gun.
Yeah, the Gatling gun does do a lot of shred early on, and sort of you don't notice it coming through either, so you can lose a lot of your health bar before you really realize what's going on.
Yeah, in the top lane, Going actually managing to push Let Me In. This is a good matchup for Aurelia generally, but she does need those, I guess, 3 points, one in each ability to be able to take advantage of how strong her kit is. And Going not letting that happen, just getting into the nice sweet spot with Rumble and putting out a lot of damage with that Flame Spitter.
Yeah, and able to stand just outside of that turret range as well. Make sure that he's only just in there. Cool takes a bit of damage from Xiaohu, but he's going to be trading back relatively effectively. Cool going to have a lot of experience in this matchup. It was what Rookie brought against him in OMG's win against Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, and you have to say that in the end, Cool did manage to get the better of it with the long pick, so will be interesting to see if he can also play it from the other end, because that's what always impresses me.
Oh, really nice distortion come through there. You have to mention the fact that Rookie did have a decent early phase.
Rookie played the game very well. Cool actually farmed off of everyone else and then destroyed Rookie. So it definitely wasn't Rookie's fault that that game went the way it went. He picked up some good picks on Ari as well, just wasn't able to close it out.
Yeah, and Going continuing to push incredibly hard here on the top side as Let Me repetitively shoved in. Not doing too bad farming under tower. Of course, Aurelia fantastic at that in general. OMG, though, already starting to pull ahead. Syncdream just throwing as many Ravens about as he can.
Yeah, and that's actually not a bad 1-2 punch out of Syncdream and Tail. They can team up for that E as well as the Q to really ensure that Uzi can't dodge out of the way with the tumble, because if you're silenced, you can't tumble. But it looks like leveling first gank of the match.
And coming through, the Valkyrie was used from Tail, and he's going to escape, but not on a lot of health. As Cool's going down so low in the mid lane. The charm landed, but it's not enough. And Danger picks up first blood.
Yeah, actually, Flash was available there. Just didn't expect to take so much damage. Gets tied up by that chain. And really nice play from Danger. We mentioned that Lee Sin is one of the champions he does play well. So able to impact mid lane. And we've seen this lane snowball in the past. Early CS and experience advantage now onto Xiaohu. See if he can push it for an advantage.
And it hasn't been a lot that we've seen Xiaohu actually get these advantages in the mid lane. He's often pressured out by the enemy jungler. Danger not often able to be around there, but managing to pick up a first blood here is huge. And we'll see whether Xiaohu, whether he can use that to great effect, whether he can use it to really put the rest of his team ahead.
Yeah, certainly. And wow, we take a look at this bottom lane. Uzi is farming up a storm, 13 CS ahead at this point, and Tail just not able to get anywhere near the CS, doing a great job at zoning out on what should be a bully lane. They sent Tail there with the early level 2, and he's still not winning out.
Yeah, and it had a lot to do with the fact that OMG had made it to that lane a little bit
in the
earlier.
Bottom lane. Looks like Tail actually might be falling.
Yeah, he's been dived here. Uzi manages to pick up the kill. He's going down low, even gets a Silver Bolts proc onto Syncdream at the same time, and that's just a 2v2 dive.
Yeah, that was the summoner spell heal used there, and still able to die to the turret dive. So Uzi, complete control over this lane. We mentioned it in the Champions League, should be going in the other favor, but Uzi doesn't really care. Yeah,
Uzi doesn't actually listen to us when we're talking about things like that. Drain going to come through, not going to get anything done as Danger wants to find Uzi. Uzi just tumbling forward on about 100 health. That is terrifying low. In a little bit of trouble now, misses the death sentence.
Yeah, trying to bait it in here because Leveling is in the bottom lane. Just ensuring that Uzi can push that wave into the turret. It's not going to get frozen, but Danger, he wants absolutely none of it. Understanding that Uzi is a serious threat here. Freezes it out the front of the turret. Great play.
Yeah, and Tail is able to make it back to that lane, so he's going to be okay. But when this is theoretically a losing lane for Vayne, and she's doing so incredibly well. That is so dangerous. Bilgewater Cutlass is now completed for Uzi, and I think after his Vayne performance yesterday that didn't go quite as well, he's got something to prove this game.
Yeah, he certainly does. And if we take a look around the map, actually both losing lanes in theory are actually ahead for OMG. The recall came through for Going. He used his teleport to get back up there, and he's got a CS advantage over an Aurelia. That's bad news for the Aurelia. Really wants to be bullying out this Rumble lane early.
Yeah, Letme has picked up that Phage in response to the Cloth Armor and Amp Tome. Going for that Seeker's Arm Guard early on is Going. A handy pickup, of course.
Yeah,
going
certainly is.
Zhonya's.
Gives a lot of good stats. Also preps for his Zhonya's. Stacks up nicely in the early game. Really gold efficient. So good buy there. Wei is actually pushing in Letme's favor. So he's going to get a ward down there just to make sure he doesn't get shoved off the CS. Actually doesn't put a ward at all. So just bluffing like he has and looking to pick up as much farm as possible. We mentioned how important it is for the 1 and 2 item spikes to come through for Aurelia. Very key, especially around that second dragon, to be able to pick up that Trinity Force and have an impact.
Yeah, and Tail and Sync Dream continuing to try and CS in this lane. Do manage to pick up the cannon. That is important, but Uzi now with an item advantage. I mean, only Longsword and that Ruby Crystal picked up here from Tail. As Letme's going aggressive onto Going here. The Scrap Shield eliminated by that Transcendent Blades. But Going still has the Equalizer available if Letme was to overextend.
Yeah, it certainly is. Lots of
Going aggressive there on the top side. Equilibrium Strike doing some work. Meanwhile, on the bottom, people just meandering about.
Yeah, so lots of sustain coming out of Letme. He's got that flash really, ooh.
Yeah, Loveling forced to flag and drag to safety. Charm not going to find danger here as well as Cool's come around.
So that was a long time in the making. Sync Dream actually roamed up for that one to see if he could make anything happen. He is putting Tail a little bit further behind because he is getting zoned off, as we can see here, but really needs to make an impact with this Fiddlesticks pick. He's nearly got his level 6, so wait for that one to come through and then maybe get a dive or a roam mid lane.
Yeah, Danger did come over to that bottom lane, but hook onto Tail not going to be a problem.
Yeah, so I was wondering if we would see any funny business out of the Fiddlesticks, grabbing some early points into Drain to maybe secure an early Dragon or something like that. But it does look like a very standard game coming out of the support player. Has started maxing that fear, so is going for the, I guess, CC approach. Hasn't even got any additional points into the E, so isn't looking to harass overly much. Just looking to maybe start roaming and getting some action for his team.
Yeah, Sync Dream and Danger again roaming around together, spotted by multiple wards, have been pinged out here by OMG. Looking to go for a steal on this red buff as well. Cool, he's aware of it, they know what's going on here. The bottom lane rotating around here as well as Danger's trying to finish this one off. Will have to back away. As Uzi will say, thank you very much for starting that red buff.
Yeah, I think that will still go over to Loveling. He just needs the early experience on Jarvan. So giving that one over. Uzi doesn't need it at this point. 20 CS up, completely destroying the bottom lane in a losing matchup. Really well played. Sheen has come up from Tail, so we'll be able to trade a little bit better, but still not much happening. And Going in the top lane continues to bully out Letme.
Yeah, Transcendent Blades being used yet again, trying to get some healing up. Oh, there's the Equalizer to come through as well. Xiaohu, he was baiting, and Xiaohu picks up an easy kill.
Yeah, really nice play there in the end. They actually sent all 3 members up. Might cost them the Dragon, but that gets the lane a little bit back into Letme's favor. And it also gives a free kill over onto the LeBlanc, who really needs to get rolling. Has actually fallen behind Cool after a good early game. And this will mean that the Dragon goes across to OMG, but nice map movement from Gamtee to get something occurring.
Yeah, and they knew that the game wasn't exactly going in their favor, and they had to do something, and Gamtee able to make an impact. Now that Tails hit level 7, is able to harass a little bit more with these rockets. You can see Uzi taking a lot of damage from that, low at about half health, and Tails' eye is definitely in today. He's not missing these ones.
No, he certainly isn't. He's actually a fantastic Corki player, probably his best AD, and now the level 6 has come through for Sync Dream. So if there is a time in the lane that they might be able to have some kill pressure, it's right now. They've got the Sheen, they've got the level 6 Crow Storm to come through. Let's see if Fiddlesticks can make some action happen.
Oh, nice Dark Passage to get Uzi out of the way of that Phosphorus Bomb. He's going to be able to farm up under this tower just fine. Tail has been closing this CS gap
He's actually been soloing for so long now. Sync Dream is just continually roaming out of the lane, and there's actually some great ward coverage coming through for OMG to be able to catch exactly what he's trying to do. Take a look at the bottom side of the map. There's a pink ward, 2 green wards as well in the river, making sure that he can't go anywhere without it being under full knowledge.
And you sort of have to as well. I mean, warding becomes very, very important when there's the potential Crow Storm over the wall. Almost has to change positioning as well, just because you must have sort of these little crevices where he can get over, sort of core you to death. Lovely. Going to be clearing out his Raptors here as well as cool. He's going to clear out this mid lane. Has that Morellonomicon already, as does Xiaohu.
Yeah, so a completely even mid lane, but with the kill and assist onto Xiaohu. So he's actually been able to go back and pick up some soft boots. That's fantastic for an early game assassin like the LeBlanc. Will be able to put down much more pressure. In the top lane, now the Sheen's picked up. Let me actually starting to do a little bit better here. Looking to get aggressive onto going now, but this lane really is going in his favor.
Yeah, Danger in a little bit of trouble here as well. Cool's over the wall. Danger getting caught out here. Oh, the last Spirit Rush is going to be enough. And the Charm landing onto Xiaohu here as well. Sync Dream coming through with the Fear, and they turn it around. Cool falls down, and Xiaohu survives the drain onto Loveling. Death Sentence doesn't find him. Nicely played by GT to go 1 for 1.
Yeah, and once again, Sync Dream with those early Moby boots, able to get around the map and really use his presence to put pressure down. That was a 2v2 that was just swapped on its head by how well Sync Dream is roaming with this Fiddlesticks, looking to get involved. Didn't even have to use a Crow Storm and was still able to get a kill for himself. So he's going to be scaling up nicely.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about when we hear Sync Dream's name as well, is roaming the map. He does it on Thresh. He does it on Annie. He's fantastic on these roamable champions in the bottom lane. And Tail, he's not too bad at playing by himself. I mean, we've seen just recently, hasn't been put under too much pressure from Uzi as going, equalizes this wave, and he's going to head back.
Yeah, and meanwhile, yeah, Tail's just been able to completely equalize the CS. He's at a very
Crow Storm in the bottom lane. Uzi's just getting destroyed. And Sync Dream is letting us know why you pick Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, that was a really cute play, using the angle of the wall and the flash to get much further in range than he would have otherwise. And looks like they might even try and turn this into a dive potentially. Tail, Sync Dream will be able to, I guess, fear low underneath the turret, and that fear, when it's maxed, seems like it goes for a very long time.
It most definitely does. Even after it got lowered just a little bit just recently, still a terrifying CC.
Yeah, and it looks like they'll pick up...
punt.
It looks like they'll pick up the first turret of the game off the back of that kill as well. So able to get this Corki rolling into the mid game. He must be close to picking up that Trinity Force at this point. So look for him to start having a very good impact. I guess the scary thing is that Uzi was able to pick up his Blade of the Ruined King, so his duel potential is very high. And we keep returning to this top.
Okay. Low's dead. Yeah, sorry everyone. Yeah, Xiaohu instantly took care of that one with the help of Danger. And now Cool in a bit of trouble there as well. The
Look
Mimic.
at the damage coming out from Xiaohu at this point in the game.
Oh, Sync Dream in a lot of trouble. The squishy little Fiddlesticks is definitely dead. The teleport's coming through. Loveling is in a lot of trouble. Xiaohu goes back to his distortion, dodges out of the way of that charm there as well. As going, trying to put some damage back onto Let Me. There's the equalizer in a beautiful position. Tails come around. Let Me forced to use that flash, but he's going to be okay. Uzi looking to start something else off, but Gamtee are playing this so beautifully.
Yeah, Gamtee playing the mid game of their life, able to rotate around the map. They are able to kill Sync Dream, but he's getting stuff started. That's all he needs to do, looking to be the playmaker for his team. And who's the beneficiary? Xiaohu and Danger starting to build leads in their respective role. We mentioned how good Cool is, but Xiaohu's starting to take it to him in this match.
Yeah, and Cool managed to make some picks. You know, this Ari's working out here for OMG, but it's very, very difficult when the likes of Low just get caught out in their jungle by the fear and the combination with all of the bursts coming out of Xiaohu.
Yeah, it certainly does. So what's the response here? Probably to give Uzi red buff and send him to split push duty and group up as 4. It's about 16 minutes into the game. Dragon's about to come back up. Would not be surprised if we see OMG bring the Rumble down. Hasn't got the teleport available and try and start a fight when the equalizer's off cooldown.
Yep, Wave crashing into his turret though, and he is going to head back there. Let Me doesn't have his teleport either, of course, came into that last skirmish. So top lane is not going to be available for when this dragon does come up unless they do roam down.
3 members strong one more time. It looks like OMG persisting with this try and pick on the Corki, but it just hasn't worked. He's actually up in CS now, finished that Trinity Force, and has a lot of surprising damage.
And let me soloing going in the top lane as well. And I never thought that I would ever be uttering those words, but that Trinity Force has given him such a power spike.
Yeah, that's just a sweet spot of the game for Aurelia. We mention it a lot, able to pick up that massive item. Rumble just, it's a losing lane, so it shouldn't have even been this close, but the ability to be able to fight just is not in his favor, so giving away a free kill. Looks like they'll pick up the dragon, and we mentioned, if you've got a Rumble on your team, you really want to fight around these first and second dragons. Losing them out to an Aurelia who will continue to scale beautifully in the late game is just horrible news. In the bottom lane, looks like Uzi and Taylor having a little bit of a scrap.
Bit of a scuffle going on there. Tail going down very, very low. It's actually going to be Uzi finishing off that kill and then taking the Dark Passage to safety. And it felt like a bit of a matter of time there on the bottom side.
Yeah, it certainly did. Xiaohu has been chunked out as well in the mid lane. Cool popping that passive. So all over the map, mini skirmishes breaking out, and this is starting to go a little bit further in OMG's favor. You would expect in skill matchups for them to be able to, I guess, exceed their opponents as, wow, Danger caught out.
Yeah, Danger going to have to kick Loveling back, but Uzi with all of that chase potential. Oh, Crowstorm channeled by Sync Dream, expecting the follow.
Yeah, actually, I think he expect Danger to hold his flash for a bit longer, try and bait Uzi in there because he had good angle on the wall stun, but Danger wanted absolutely nothing to do with that Vayne. Flashes out.
Yep, definitely not. I can understand that, to be perfectly honest. I'd be frightened if Uzi's Vayne was coming in the face as well, as they're going to take down the outer turret in the bottom side of the map. OMG still with a lot of power in this game, despite Gamtee having some smooth moves throughout this mid-game portion.
Yeah, you would say that the game now firmly back into control of OMG. They're able to equalize the gold. Probably the only danger left on the map is Let Me in the top lane. He's still extremely, I guess, well put in the 1v1, but in the mid lane, that Abyssal Scepter build really does hurt Xiaohu's ability because it's going to be a DFG picked up by Cool, and that just gives him the the ability to win these duels pretty comfortably.
And pretty quickly as well, you have to say. Of course, DFG removed now, but it's a beautiful thing.
That is the earliest QSS pickup I have seen in a very long time. The second item QSS.
Oh, going in a lot of trouble here on the top side. The Dark Passage is there, but they're trying to block it out. He does manage to pick it up and then flash, but Let Me, he's there as well. And Loveling now in a lot of trouble. The box doing some work, but Safeguard's going to help Danger as Cool. He's come in, not going to find the charm. There it is, though. Sync Dream falls down. The Cataclysm as well. Danger Safeguard's out. Xiaohu's in here. Loveling's dead, and he's looking for more. Distorts in, misses the chains, unfortunately. Foxfire not going to find a target as he distorts back to his original position.
So once again, a trap set up by Gamtee, able to spring it. They take out the top member, but a good roam this time from Cool, heads it off, able to trade 2 for 1 in the end. So still in Gamtee's favor, and Xiaohu followed up in the end. And you got to say, in the AD carry, there's a big discrepancy to how quickly Tail is getting to these fights compared to Uzi. Even though he wasn't used there, he was probably a good 5 seconds ahead of Uzi still. So if the fight had have continued, Tail would have been able to have an impact. Uzi lagging behind a little bit and not able to get himself going to where he would like to be. Definitely a mid-game threat on this Vayne, but still not being able to turn into this team-fighting powerhouse.
Yeah, this is the time, though, when Tail needs to be with his team to have that impact with that Trinity Force, and those Sorcerer's Shoes has a lot of sort of AoE power, but you're exactly right. If he's reacting before Uzi is and they can get these fights already going, what's a Vayne going to do on her own?
Yeah, exactly right. Not going to be able to live through a lot of the bursts that's coming through from this LeBlanc that's built so much raw pen. And in the top lane, Let Me now 2-0-2. Looked like he was having a rough early game. That is a thing of the past. He's well and truly on his way to being a very, very tanky, scary Aurelia.
Oh, yeah. Has those Mercury's treads. The cloth armor there as well. Probably going to build up to either that Frozen Heart or the Randuin's Omen here. And Out of those two items, what do you think would actually be the best in this situation? Is it really important to get rid of the attack speed on Uzi?
Yeah, I think the Frozen Heart does come up trumps here for exactly what you just mentioned. Nullifies a lot of the attack speed coming out, particularly because Uzi has gone a very safe build here with the QSS. So I like the fact that we'll be moving into that. He does need to be careful, however, because you can't tunnel on Uzi. This is a double AP comp with an Ari with a DFG, so you definitely need to have some form of magic resist. Otherwise, he still is under danger of being picked off.
Oh, yeah, and cool. With that DFG now has a Null Magic Mantle as well. Might be going also towards that Abyssal Scepter, going to work fantastically in this team comp alongside Going, who just really wants to be tearing through that magic resist.
And Gamtee one more time setting up another ambush, really running this cute pick comp to the extreme now. I think OMG are finally wise to what they're doing. They're just rotating from lane to lane, trying to set these up in the black, I guess, the lack of vision coming through. They've very, very early got across the older sweepers. Would be looking for them to be upgraded potentially if this is how they want to play out this mid game, because it is very key to be able to deny all vision if this is your tactic, because if you see someone walk towards a brush and then they don't come out, you can pretty much guarantee they're still in there.
Most definitely. Danger, however, going to be hanging around this mid lane still. Sync Dream went down the bottom side, but they didn't find anyone. Uzi and Loveling are heading down there now, as the members of Gamtee left over are going to clear out this mid wave. Cool. Hanging around there still. 3-2-0. Having a decent game. Ahead in farm by not too long, but let me in a lot of trouble here. There's the Cataclysm. Does have the flash available. Going to get condemned against the Cataclysm wall there. But here's the rest of Gamtee. Uzi in so much trouble. Can't take the Lantern. And the rockets keep coming from Gamtee. There's the box low. Really trying to get this one off the rest of his team.
Yeah, Dragon up in 10 seconds, so really nicely played from Gamtee to get a pick there. OMG were looking for exactly that, to be able to control a kill before the next Dragon comes up and really be able to control that. But once again, Going on Rumble, not going to be able to contest for a Dragon early in the game. It's just going to fall to Gamtee, and they're 2,000 gold in their head. They're up a Dragon now after this one, and their pick comp is really swinging.
It is working out for them, and once again, Uzi getting punished for this Vayne pick. Has been successful on it once, but yesterday we saw it not going so well, and yet again, things working out for Gamtee, and you have to think that it has something to do with this sort of focus on the Vayne here.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's a very greedy pickup for Uzi. We know he loves playing it. He is going for a Youmuu's Ghostblade build, so it has got a very low cost to it compared to a lot of other Vayne's builds. Makes him an extremely good duelist, but you have to think if Taylor is able to pick up maybe an Infinity Edge, going to be pretty dangerous.
Oh my goodness, the QR combo coming through from Jiahu after that distortion, doing a lot of damage to Cool. He's going to have to back away. The blasting one completed now as well, so that Abyssal Scepter on the way here for Cool.
Yeah, and now that's a level 2 ultimate. It's got such a short cooldown coming through there. It's about 24 seconds with all the CDR, and that just makes Jiahu very difficult to deal with in this mid-game.
Loveling trying to get the knock up there as the distortion comes in. Let me clearing out this wave on the top side as well. And do you think that when it's... Oh my goodness, actually Cool taking another combo to the face. But do you think that Let Me being able to duel Uzi, do you think that is going to be a massive point in this game that really has to be reached for either team?
Yeah, I don't really think that it does, because they have pretty good dive potential coming out of an Aurelia with a Frozen Heart. So if Uzi refuses to group and just continues to split push, they can do exactly this. Use Tail and Jiahu's poke, force people off turrets, and then just pick up objectives for themselves.
Yeah, and actually Let Me drawing a lot of attention to the top side of the map. The Equalizer was used on him. That does give Gamtee the mid lane outer turret in response to what OMG have taken. The whole outer ring now completed for Gamtee, and this is not what we were expecting to talk about. We were expecting to talk about OMG taking the entire outer ring, able to strangle that vision, but you can see, look at Gamtee's vision in that red side jungle of OMG. It is so strong.
Yeah, able to get in there and get some good wards down. They're looking to set up these picks as people rotate round to the CS, because they know how greedy they can get as Uzi and Jiahu headbutt each other a little bit in the mid lane. This LeBlanc, once he picks up probably a Death Cap as a next item, can pretty much 0 to 100 everyone on the map. And that's a scary prospect when you think that you have this tanky Jarvan coming through as well. Really needs to be able to pick up that Lock of the Iron Solari to give a shield and that passive MR around to the rest of the team.
Oh, yeah. Xiaohu well on the way to that. He's probably sitting on a fair bit of gold here as well, as Danger going to start off these Raptors.
Yeah, he's about 1,400 gold in his back pocket, so...
Ooh, only needs about another 300 to complete that Rabadon's death cap, if that is where he's going to go. Gamtee probably looking to start some fights after that, once that spike has been hit. Cool, with a bit of money there as well, clearing out that bot side. The Krug's going to fall down at the same time. And OMG looking to reconsolidate, sort of. They may have underestimated Gamtee here a little bit, but as soon as they understand what their opponent's capable of, you could imagine OMG going to go into full power mode.
Yeah, I think what they've done is they've just let their vision control slip too much. We spoke about how important it is to get Uzi into a side lane, continue to farm up. He's definitely on his way to being able to teamfight, has gone a very heavy duelist build. But what they haven't been able to do is use this Ahri along with the Thresh to set up the picks. They did it so well and got cool ahead in their win yesterday. But this time around, nothing really happening to that regard. So a lot of pressure now to get some good vision control down and allow Cool to be able to pick these people off, get ahead, because he's gone for that very greedy solo kill DFG build, and the death cap has now been finished on Xiaohu, and he's just going to be doing mass AoE damage, and that's a bad news story when your most fed mid laner is going for the solo kill, and the other mid lane is looking to kill everyone at the same time. I definitely know what I would rather have on my team at that point.
I'm pretty sure I'd want every member of the enemy team dead. Is that the right answer?
Yeah, I think at this point it definitely is. In the meantime, let me in the bottom lane. Split pushing up an absolute storm. No one wants to deal with him, so unless they can get a pick right now, that second tier turret is going to go down.
Yep, Dragon up in a minute and a half, and let me just having his way with that bottom turret. Xiaohu more than happy to use that distortion to clear out this wave, able to be very tricksy, not going to get caught out by much, and let me with that frozen heart, with the Trinity Force, able to do a lot of work down here. 2-0 and 3. Loveling coming through around the side. He's going to smite Let Me here. Does have the flash. Can get out of this one if he wants to. Uzi not going to actually get the stun from the Condemned, but there's the Blade of the Ruined King here as well. Equilibrium Strike is available, but gets instantly QSS'd, and Uzi picks up the kill. 3 members in the bot lane, though. Gamtee, they're going for Baron.
Yeah, that's a bad call from Gamtee. There is a Rumble Ahri right next door, and they're not doing it quickly whatsoever. This will go horribly wrong, and this could even give the game back to OMG on a silver platter.
Yeah, there's the equalizer coming through. Gamtee all flashing away from this one. The golden flamethrower sitting there for going, and Gamtee, they successfully back away. Unless Loveling can have anything to do with it. The Flag and Drag's coming through. There's the DFG. Tail manages to get out of the way, but Danger, he takes it. Sync Dream right into the middle of the team. The sacrificial play. And the rest of Gamtee running the heck away.
Yeah, so really bad play out of Gamtee there. They had the split push. Maybe could have just forced something top lane, tried to dive, going, but in the end, they paid for it with 3 members and really giving the game back into OMG's favor. That was really, I guess, questionable from Gamtee's side.
A little bit unfortunate there. Had it have worked, though, things could have been different. They just didn't spot the ward that was to the side of Baron and started it up in full vision. A very dangerous mistake to make, especially against the likes of OMG, because you give them an inch and they will take a mile.
Yeah, but OMG had to know what's happening. When you send 3 members bottom lane and everyone else disappears off the map, there's not very many options for them to go to.
They could have been taking the Raptors.
OMG now looking to pick up a Dragon as well as in the mid lane. Cool actually gets completely chunked out by Xiaohu. Still very, very strong at this point. 3-0 and 3. Looking to contest the Dragon.
Yeah, almost level 16 as well as Xiaohu. Going to have that 3rd rank in the ultimate, doing a lot of work. Gamtee starting this one up for themselves. Now Loveling waiting in the wings, though. They have pulled it out.
Cool had to go back, so they can't fight this one. They're hoping for a miracle steal from Loveling, and then the Lantern out from low. Watch for it right now.
The equalizer bot is going to come through. Dragon actually gets taken by Xiaohu. That distortion doing a lot of damage to help burst that one out. A beautiful equalizer, but there's the Locket of the Iron Solari coming through as well. Sync Dream dodging out of the way. Doesn't get knocked up. The fear to come through onto Loveling now as well. And he doesn't quite have the tenacity in order to shrug that one off just yet.
And the Fiddlestick swag walk away as well with a little bit of a pause. So they're looking to continue this push in the mid lane. Maybe once again rotate out and try and catch Let Me on this Aurelia.
Let Me's actually going to teleport away here as well as the Flame Spitter comes through. He just goes straight to bottom lane and says, yeah, I just want to split push, man. Okay, just leave him a lane.
He is in full PvE mode right now. Does
Yeah.
not want to go near anyone. Just wants to continue to scale up. And why not? Nearly at that third item for Aurelia. Probably will back and pick it up now. 270 CS. Top on the map. And when you're against Uzi, that's a pretty big feat to be able to brag.
Oh, most definitely. And Tail can brag as well because he's actually ahead by 7 CS, of course. Uzi been rotating around, picking up kills on Let Me where he can on this map. But the Bloodthirster completed now for Tail. Has a pickaxe, could potentially be going for that last Whisper, or maybe even just straight for an Infinity Edge. I mean, that'd be the manly build, right?
Yeah, it would be, but from what we've seen, it will be the last Whisper coming out here, which makes me a little bit sad. I just think that with all the mixed damage that comes out of Corki, you really can afford to go for these greedy builds, these Blade of the Ruined Kings into Infinity Edges, these Infinity Edges into Bloodthirsters, and try and get a lot of upfront damage done. Helps with your siege, rounds out a lot of your composition much more smoothly, but we will see just a standard build coming out. And once again, that ward is
That
MVP.
ward is amazing. Incredible work from OMG, not getting spotted out. They do find it because they have to throw down an extra pink up here. But OMG still have a pink in that top brush.
Yeah, and they're using this pick comp to really try and run themselves into this game. Complete denial of vision. They're going to have to face check, and when they do...
This is very cute. Little bird just to pop some Banshee's Veils. Is Gamtee looking to speed up. Loveling maybe caught out here. The chains are still connected. They do get the land. Danger in a lot of trouble here as Uzi gets zoned out. Loveling going to flash out of his own Cataclysm as Sync Dream's getting destroyed. Xiaohu going to fall down as well. And this is the OMG that we know. Uzi with all of the chase potential, but Tail getting some decent damage down as they're coming through. But OMG just destroying that fight.
Yeah, and once again, Gamtee just lacking the polish that we see out of OMG. Flank coming through from going. Not much really going to happen here. Probably just going to wait for the creep wave and take down the turret. But blowing that much of your cooldown ability spells onto a Banshee Veil Jarvan, and then just having Cool destroy your LeBlanc in response is just exactly what the discrepancy between these two teams is. Badly executed flash kick as well from Danger meant that Jarvan just wasn't in the middle of the team where he needs to be, weren't able to blow him up, and OMG make them pay for it.
Yeah, they do. We'll see whether Gamtee can sort of re-evaluate their situation, make the plays that they've made in the mid-game. They have done well. It's Danger actually looking to start this one off over the side. Sync Dream just going to Crow Storm his way in and start draining away. Locket of the Iron Solari is going to be used. Oh, Let Me actually coming around in full vision. Oh, he gives OMG vision of this Baron, but it's going down incredibly low. OMG nowhere near it, and Gamtee finally picking up the Baron. This is their plan, and they managed to execute it. Even if they lose, you have to say they've been successful.
Yeah, they certainly have. They've run this composition pretty well. They've lacked a couple of execution points in the team fights, but able to clear out vision repetitively. They go back, understand that nothing was put down from OMG, able to pick up a free Baron from themselves, and this gives them a little bit of a power play. They've got 2 minutes here before the next Dragon where they can try and shove down lanes and take advantage. Make Going respond to the Aurelia split push and try and push down the last two outer turrets.
Yeah, Sync Dream now actually has a Fiendish Codex in his inventory, so not wanting to go for a Zhonya's Hourglass or anything like that you'd see. Oh, actually, Danger getting caught out. He's just going to get destroyed. Cool finishes that one off. And, oh, actually, Loveling taking a lot of damage from Xiaohu here as well.
But, yeah, continue to go in here.
Oh, there's a Cataclysm onto Tail here as well, but he immediately gets out and pops him. Just destroyed, and the Equalizer just hanging out. A row of pineapples doing nothing.
Yeah, so in the end, a 1-for-1 coming through. Gamtee now with the Baroned up minions. No tank and no Equalizer. They will look to dive this turret, you would have to assume, with how strong Let Me is.
Yeah, Xiaohu actually has that ultimate back-off cooldown as well. The Mimics their Tail. Just trying to throw some rockets in, help with this siege. Uzi's decided he wants to pick up the red buff, says, nah, team, that was a dumb fight. I'm going to pick up red buff. See you later.
Yeah, so just making sure he has the tools. Actually going to bottom lane to split push. There's a pink ward right there, hoping that Uzi does tumble in with that stealth, trying to get something greedy.
Ooh, Low going for the smooth play. Oh, the chain barely misses onto Low. That would have spelt his death. And Tail trying to get in, trying to get the siege happening. They have a cannon minion.
Tail, you have a shield. Just hit the turret, please.
Yeah, right. Do some right clicks on the structure. They don't have any minions left. Tail has to go fairly close to that one. Probably doesn't want to take Flame Spitter damage as well, as Loveling's found his way back in. Doesn't have too much armor yet built up, and we saw how much damage Tail did do to him. The birds are coming through here as well, as the distortion gets mimicked on top of Loveling. Doesn't do too much though. And OMG, everyone's still back here. The Baron minions are now going to get turned around upon. Loveling looking for his way into this fight. But Dragon just came back up, and Gamtee, that's where they want to be. Yeah,
once again, denying vision from an objective, looking to rotate over there. There's no way OMG can face check that at this point. So they're going to be able to pick up another Dragon. A little bit of a disappointing play.
That's the fourth Dragon, too.
Yeah, fourth Dragon coming across, but a little bit of a disappointing play, not being able to get that outer turret cracked any further. They have the Baron buff, and it looks like it is not going to actually lead to a major objective unless they can cap someone in transit right here.
Actually, OMG off to the side here as well, and Gamtee with a beautiful power play. No minions, but it's not a problem. They easily just pick that one up.
Yeah, and that's how quickly they kill turrets. That's why I was extremely confused that they were backing away for it, really respecting the team comp that came out of OMG, not wanting to get caught out. But in the end, they pick up the turret. They've got 4 Dragons now, 2,000 gold in the advantage, so definitely still their game to lose. OMG not out of this one. They're still sitting in a fairly good position with a late game scaling hyper carry like a Vayne, but you would have to think that really scary for them to be in this spot against Gamtee.
Yeah, we were never expecting this position at all. I mean, Gamtee near the bottom of the standings, OMG clearly vying for that #1 team in the world, as Letme's going to discover Loveling trying to steal away this red buff and say, nope, 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 you get the heck out of here, as Syncdream's going to be warding up around this Baron pit. But yeah, no one would have expected this coming out of Gamtee, and they're looking great this game, and Syncdream making this support Fiddlesticks work.
Yeah, he certainly is. 2, 4, and 4. Looks like he's getting some cooldown reduction in his build, so it is more of a tank Fiddlesticks. Wants to be able to survive to get multiple fears out with this cooldown reduction that he's now been able to pick up. So I like what he is trying to make happen here. Definitely has been an integral part to this pick composition. I think that a lot of pressure now on Letme. He really is the last key to victory. Going for that GA now, he has to continue being able to make his split push successful and dive onto Uzi. It really is. Can he, I guess, survive in a split push scenario, and can he also in team fights be able to just sit on Uzi and make sure that he's not attacking anyone else but this Aurelia?
And he is going to continue split pushing down here. Danger was there. Chain going to be used just to clear out some creeps, as Xiaohu not wanting to go too far forward, and OMG looking to set up some sort of pick for themselves as well. The Spectre's Cow now being completed by Tail, so he's going for a Banshee's Veil here, wanting to make sure that he nullifies a little bit of the upfront spell damage coming through to him, or perhaps some of that CC. A Death Sentence, a stray Death Sentence would otherwise kill this Corki, so he's going to be pretty happy once that Veil comes in.
Yeah, and in the bottom lane, Gogoing needs to be careful here. 2 members coming down to try and set up a pick. Wisely backs away, so good 6th sense coming out of Gogoing there. And once again, Gamtee, when there's no objectives up on the map, really look like they're having trouble deciding what they need to do. They need to get control over this Baron area. They need to exert pressure. Baron's up in 1:30. Get in there, sweep out some wards, make OMG come to you, make them face check for the last time, because you have to think, with how big this Corki now is, they can push down structures extremely quickly.
And that pink ward at the top side of the map has been in that brush for so long for OMG. Look that up there in the top left. Just almost a permanent fixture on this map.
Yeah, and they must know that green ward's there again, because it's been there in the last 2 games, and they saw it there about 5 minutes ago. So not sweeping that one out, pretty serious error, because now OMG will know exactly when Baron started up and exactly when Baron's being baited. So really nice ward coverage coming out from OMG. That one in the top brush, it has been there for a while, not really doing much because of where they're dancing around, but it might actually come up pretty big if OMG are able to chase Gamtee up through the top side of the jungle and give some much needed vision.
Yep, top wave pushing in now for OMG, so Gamtee going to have to clear that one out. Of course, Letme more than happy to pick that one up. Does have the Guardian Angel now as well, so lots of different things floating around this Aurelia, making her look scary.
Yeah, be surprised whether he goes for a second damage item coming through here, or he does pick up the Thorn Mail.
I think Zephyr. Oh, wait, hang on. He's got the Mercury's Treads. Let's not do that. Let's not do double tenacity. That's just not going to work out.
Zephyr, in general, not a fantastic item at this point in the game. Ooh. Banshee Veil was popped on Loveling. Thought he actually might elect to go in there. They're playing this one very slow, OMG. That's not a bad place to fight with a Rumble, given the fact that you can lay the Equalizer sideways and really pick someone off.
Not opting to go into anything, though. Definitely respecting Gamtee here. They've seen their performance thus far.
And they're sending Uzi back to red buff. This might be a little bit dangerous.
Yep, no one on GT knows the fact that Uzi is so far away, though, so probably not going to be wanting to pull the trigger. There is a nice ward there for OMG, spotting out exactly what Gamtee's doing here in this mid side. Sync Dream going to head back to base now as well. He's ran out of pink wards and needs to have more to provide that vision. Loveling in the front of this Baron pit, going to be able to... Oh, actually misses the standard there. A little bit unfortunate. Sonic Wave just going to be used to start off this Baron, and Loveling, yep, not even going to worry about it.
Uzi quietly has accumulated 6 items on his vein. He's a finished item build, able to finish up that Phantom Dancer, has so much attack speed, will absolutely rip through people. There is a Frozen Heart, which will do a little bit to mitigate how quickly he is attacking, but those Silver Bolts coming through will actually give Let Me some trouble in this next team fight.
Yeah, twice, actually, as Let Me going to be reviving yet again in these fights, and might be a Warmogs to come through next. He is lacking a little bit on that health front. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, just not fantastic with how, of course, Vayne's passive from a W
not
does
to mention
work.
the Leandru's Torment here as well.
Yeah, so I think it will be probably, if it's a defensive item, it will be a Thornmail. I have absolutely no doubt about that because Uzi hasn't managed to pick up that much armor shred for himself and is consistently using his auto attack. So being able to trade that, very important. They're actually trading the 5th Dragon for Baron. So we have always wondered what teams value, and it turns out different teams value different things. 5th Dragon picked up, that is absolutely huge, particularly for Corki and LeBlanc. And Baron picked up for OMG. They're rotating into this top lane. Bottom lane is massive as well. This is bad news for Gamtee.
This could be a base race, and OMG have the Baroned up minions here as well. 2 members are going to be heading back. Uzi's going to be putting a lot of damage down onto this inner turret. Everyone from Gamtee looking to escape, actually cancelling the backs here. As Go-Going is around trying to clear out this wave. The flash into the fear onto Go-Going here as well. He's going to get locked up, taken off the map immediately. Uzi follows up the kill. It's actually going to be cool that takes that one down. Let Me gets his Guardian Angel popped, and Sync Dream gets destroyed. Cool already with 2 kills as Let Me trying to get in amongst it. Loveling is burning to death, but Tails dead. The double kill for Uzi. He is furious, but Xiaohu destroys him.
Yeah, so in the end, a really well-played team fight for OMG. Gamtee went all in on that, and you really have to respect what they did because they were able to blow up the Rumble, but with how the lanes are pushing now, Xiaohu's got his work cut out to be able to stop his base, which is being ripped apart.
Yeah, and Baron is on these members of OMG here as well. This mid lane is probably going to go down to complement the bottom lane that is getting decimated by a gigantic wave of creeps. And easily going to be able to take down this inhibitor turret. Inhibitor turret didn't fall on the side of Gamtee. They, of course, just decided they wanted to be killing champions.
Yeah, it certainly did. Looks like they'll be able to grab the first inhibitor there. Xiaohu goes in, takes actually a lot of damage for his trouble, but deals some back, you would have to say there as well. So 1 inhibitor in the mid lane, a lot of that Dragon, and we'll see the replay. So they go all in on Go-Going there. The problem is that Uzi is a major threat. If that was Uzi that they went all in on there, they probably would have won that team fight, but they get locked up underneath this turret. So much damage coming through. That Flay probably saved the fight yet again, and the amount of upfront burst damage that just came out of Xiaohu there was ridiculous.
So silly. LeBlanc never to be underestimated. Uzi was probably like, oh, I got a QSS, got myself some magic resist, we're going to be sweet. No. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll just check out how much AP LeBlanc has. 884 AP for Xiaohu's LeBlanc with that 5th Dragon Bust still ticking through there. So once again, the ability to 100% nearly anyone on the map still exists for Xiaohu. 5, 1, and 4. He really is a person that needs to get the pick for his team to be successful.
Yeah, and sort of Gamtee's newest member to return to the team as well is on the starting roster, but wasn't able to play for the first few weeks. Now that he has come onto the team, he's had some great performances, and Gamtee's been looking a little bit better since the return of their mid laner. We can see it demonstrated right here, really giving
their
OMG
best game so far. They're giving OMG a serious crack, and not only that, they're doing it in a way that shows that they're trying to proactively win the game. They're not stalling. Gamtee have had some problem closing things out and really pushing advantages, and the way they're doing this is actually pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, they have a clear plan as well, and they're executing their strategy despite whatever OMG is trying to do to them, which is brilliant because a lot of these teams can actually get very, I guess, intimidated by these top sides.
Yeah, certainly. And OMG are very, very good at strangling you off objectives. So being able to do exactly what Gamtee do here, control the objective part of the map. They've picked up 5 dragons for themselves once. That threat will continue to loom there. And whilst that inhibitor's gone down in the mid lane, we've seen multiple times tonight already that 1 inhibitor is not enough to close out a game on this patch.
Yeah, actually 3 inhibitors doesn't seem to be enough to close out a game on this patch if we're judging it by tonight's performances. Of course, some massively epic games. Does seem like it is up to the Rumble to finish off the Nexus, though, so we'll see whether Go-Going can actually continue that one.
Yeah, it certainly does. A Mercurial Scimitar now finished up by Uzi, so he's completely done in his 6-item build. Only really a last item to come out for Tail, probably looking towards something like that Infinity Edge. He's sitting on about 1,200 gold, so look for him to pick up another BF sword. Fiddlesticks actually sold his Glacial Shroud to pick up.
Needs to make sure that he always has 20% cooldown reduction in his inventory?
Yeah, maybe. So coming through there, has actually got himself some cooldown reduction. I like the pickup of the Morello Nomicon because it will ensure that there are always, I guess, some of that the passive grievous wounds coming through, making sure Uzi isn't life-stealing up to full health in these team fights. So look for him to be responsible for diving. And a minute 20 now on this Dragon, and they're trying to get position around it, still trying to bait OMG into one of these face checks that could cost them the game.
Yeah, and these face checks are still incredibly potent. Only 4,000 gold is the lead here for OMG, as they're just going to move up this mid lane. They might just decide to trade this 5th Dragon yet again for maybe the base.
Yeah, so that's a bad trade. So Gamtee not looking to do that one. Rotate around very, very nicely. And whilst they don't have positional advantage now, OMG need to make sure they don't commit overly hard on the Dragon, because if they do, they leave their flanks open to a very powerful Xiaohu. So still the game on an absolute knife's edge. Coming in here, OMG need to take this Dragon away to ease up the pressure, because otherwise if they make one mistake, that will go over to Gamtee. But Gamtee really need to ensure that they don't give away a team fight, because that will probably mean the game.
Yeah, OMG pinging frantically
Stacking
here.
on a ward.
Stacking on a ward. Not even deciding to sweep that one out. Going, you've got one ready, mate. So does Low. And the members of Gamtee able to set this one up. There's the flash into the Crow Storm as well. Instantly getting charmed up. Sync Dream in a lot of trouble. Cool. He's going to go down. Tail's going to fall as well. Cool actually is absolutely fine as Uzi just going ham in this fight. Loveling diving so deep as well as Zhao, who's going to use his Zhonya's Hourglass to not so great effect. And that is 3 dead already on the side of Gamtee in a fight that they started.
Yeah, so they definitely tried to end that one there, but unable to do anything. Unfortunately, the Fiddlesticks not coming up massive in the end, and OMG just too good in these team fight situations.
But it is yet another good performance from Gamtee despite a loss here. They were in control towards that mid stage, just unfortunately unable to really follow through on their victories. But you have to say, against a team like OMG, no one was expecting them to put up that much of a fight.
Yeah, definitely not. And they came in with a decisive game plan. They were looking for the picks. And even that last team fight, they got exactly what they wanted. They got the Crow Storms, able to dive in there. In the end, just very good reactionary play out of Thresh. And 0, 1, and 13 really did it for me in that game. Had a big impact across the map, kept Uzi safe, and peeled very well for his carries in 2 decisive team fights.
Yeah, Low was fantastic in that game, as well as the Dark Passages to get a lot of his carries out of trouble here as well, utilizing it for Cool and for Uzi there as well.
Yeah, so I think that across the board, OMG looking much stronger in these team fight situations. Wouldn't be surprised if Gamtee had another curveball prepared for them, and I think you could expect anything coming out of this game too.
Okay, well, because of that, let's go over to Game 2. My brain is erupting due to the fact that Gamtee are looking so good, but let's get into Game 2 just after this.